Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay, so I want to go over to start with the extended warranty for water heaters. We buy our water heaters from Ferguson, we get Bradford White's. That's the typical warranty, our water heater we get. They only offer one, well they actually offer two different warranties. There's really only one that we're going to get for residential water heaters, to 10-year extended warranty. When you buy this, it's $125 at Ferguson, okay? And you basically get a little pamphlet that has, it's in a little cardboard deal. It has a serial number on it and everything else. So that serial number basically ends up replacing the serial number, because there's a sticker inside there that goes on the water heater, and it says 10-year warranty, and a little, like on the left there, 10-year extended limited warranty, but it does have a serial number on the one that you get from Ferguson. And in addition to that, it has all the information to the customer, but it tells you how it kind of works. First thing, it says it has to be installed by a professional plumber. Okay, so that means we have an in right there. They can't go buy this themselves and install it themselves and get this 10-year warranty. Okay, and then it says the water heater installation must adhere to all the codes, proper codes. The extended limited warranty may only be sold through an authorized wholesaler, so you can't buy it on Amazon or something like that, right? And the purchase of this extended limited warranty must be in accordance with the manufacturer guidelines, which requires the date of installation and the inception of the limited warranty to be within 6 months of the manufacturer date of the product in order to be eligible. So when you guys get your warranty card, it's very rare that something like that happens, but make sure you check the date on the water heater, and it's within 6 months of when it was manufactured. Ferguson we don't have this problem with, but there are situations where something gets returned and it sits in the back somewhere, and now you're at a 9-month water heater, you buy an extended warranty and it doesn't match. So it's important that you just make sure when you're going through this and setting this up for the customer. Okay? The extended limited warranty applies to approved use on Bradford White tank type residential water heaters only. So it's not tankless, just tanks. The extended limited warranty registration card must be properly completed and signed by the professional installer. The card must include the model number, serial number from the rating plate. This card must also be mailed to Bradford White within 6 months of the manufacture date of the water heater for the extended limited warranty to be valid. So basically when you get this deal, it's kind of sealed up in a little cardboardy, envelope-ish type of thing. It's got some of the information on the outside of it. You open it up and it has a little part on the back that gets tore out, that you fill out all the information, model number, serial number, customer's information. We sign it and it gets sent in the mail. Okay? You have to make sure that gets done. You should be taking that and giving the rest of the pamphlet to the customer, and then the sticker goes on the water heater. Those are the things that have to be done for the warranty to be valid. The last thing we want to have happen is that not being mailed in, because it's like us purchasing a $125 part and not using it, throwing it away. Okay? We don't want to do that. So you want to make sure that it's not only filled out, mailed in, give the customer the information, here's your warranty card, extended warranty for 10 years, and everything's sticker on the water heater, then everything's good to go. If you don't do that, what's going to happen is, in 9 years or 8 years from now, and something goes wrong with the water heater, it's going to be on us completely. Okay? We're going to have to buy a new water heater because it's not going to be under warranty, because we can't prove anything. We don't have any information. Nothing was ever filled out and sent in. Okay? It's a good idea to take a picture of that warranty card too and put it on there, on your service Titan. Okay? We just got to make sure that we're doing this, guys, because we just did one the other day, and oh yeah, Jesse and Jason did it. I looked on the receipt. Yes, it was purchased. Everything was good to go that way, but it was just given to the customer. So if that's not filled out and sent in and signed by the professional, not by the customer, signed by the professional, that's not gonna be a valid warranty, okay? So that happens to be, Brett, your parents.
Yeah, my dad probably is constantly calling you guys, yeah.
So actually, I think
He's a pain.
your mom called, actually.
Yeah.
I talked to her on Monday. Jared actually sent her the information she wanted, but nothing was mentioned to her about the warranty card because I wasn't around where I could get, and Sarah was off on Monday. She had an emergency thing. So I couldn't validate, number one, from the receipt, was it purchased? And so I didn't know if the extended warranty was even done. It was, so I did validate that once I came in Tuesday morning. But we do need to get that from your parents and get it filled out, signed, and sent in. The little
Okay.
part in the back of that, and then
I can
just
bring it back.
make sure the sticker. Just make sure the sticker's on the water heater.
Yeah.
It was given to them, according to what I talked to Jason. He said, yeah, it was, or Jesse too. It was
Okay.
given to the customer, but we need to make sure stickers on there. We fill out our part, and then they keep the rest of it because the rest of it gives them all their information. Okay.
Okay.
So when you if you pick that up, Brett, make sure you fill out the serial number from the water heater, the
Okay.
model number, all that good stuff, as much as you
Will do.
can.
And
Take
then
pictures
bring you
of
guys the sheet. Do you guys want the sheet?
We don't-
so
we
you
don't
guys have
need-
a copy or anything.
No, if you take a picture of it, that's fine.
Okay.
And you can give it to me and I'll upload it. But I want to make sure that we have, when you guys install water heaters, that's the other thing. No pictures in the system of the pre-situation and then the final product. All of that has to be done on every job. I keep saying that, but how do we know that we installed it? Other than going in, we look for an invoice, we see it. Is this the same one that we installed? You know what I mean? There's situations that come up. I mean, this one's probably not gonna be an issue, but there's situations that come up. We wanna say, okay, what did we install? Is it a 40 gallon? Is it a 50 gallon? It doesn't always just say in the system when you're typing up an invoice. Sometimes it depends on how you put it in there. And then, what was the manufacturer date? Does that match what we're doing with our warranty card? And did we put a sticker on? All of those things matter. If we have a picture on it, it's easy to go, and the customer says, oh, I have a 10-year warranty. We look in, we see it, we're good to go. We know, okay?
It looked beautiful, by the way. Jesse and Jason did a great job. So
Oh, good.
it looked really nice.
Good. So please get that to us as soon as possible, and then we can get that and make sure the warranty is going to be valid, okay? So also when you get the cards, just for your own information, there's going to be the models. There's a level 1 and level 2 warranty. The level 1, they're still both 10 years, so that doesn't change. The level 1 warranty, it tells you what models that it covers, so gas and electric models. So you want to make sure that you have the right model. When you buy that water heater, normally Ferguson's going to be good on that, but we actually found one here that was purchased previously, and it wasn't used. So there's probably a customer out there that got it purchased and they never got it. It was here since I got here. And then it sat down here for however long. I'm like, hey, this thing looks like it's good. It's never been used. And then we were able to use it on a customer. But Model 2, or eligible models for Level 2, it also has only a few electric and a lot of gas on here, but different model numbers. And when I was trying to figure out what the difference between Level 1 and Level 2 is, I couldn't really see it. I think it just has to do with the type of water heater it is. But they're basically, whatever model number it is, I'm sure Ferguson should be making sure that the card that they give you is applicable to the model that you're purchasing, okay?
I wonder if one's like gas and one's electric.
Well, you see the gas and electric on top, see, here's the number 1, all these are gas,
Oh, okay.
these first 2 rows, and then all these are electric.
Oh.
And then Level 2, it has all of this gas and only like 3 electric.
Huh.
And I can't quite read what this says here. Let me see if I can read it right here. It says, okay, the warranty upgrade includes all of the associated something to numbers above the upgraded kit also apply on new model numbers created available in Canada only. Huh.
Canadians
So,
got different numbers.
There may be some that are only in Canada only, maybe that's level 2. I don't know. But typically we get the blue one, that's the one that I've always seen. And it's just level 1, so it's pretty standard for what we get. Any questions on the warranty card? Everybody understands that? Okay. the next thing I wanted to talk about has to do with apprentices. Okay, so Sarah's not here. I was kind of hoping that she was. I'm going to show her this herself individually. She may watch the video and kind of get a glimpse of it first, but Sarah last week basically had Jason working with her for a large part of the week, okay? Off and on. Jason did a couple of things here and there, but Jason was working with Sarah. And I didn't realize this until after I did the payroll yesterday. So I wanted to kind of show you guys, and I'll show Sarah so that you guys can hopefully see the value of having an apprentice. You guys all know how Sarah is. She's, Sarah's like making as much money as Sarah can make, which is great. When it comes to their no money job, you guys don't pay. You don't pay for the apprentice. If you're driving with an apprentice and there's no money on the job, you do an HPCs or you're doing estimates and there's nothing sold yet, you're not going to pay for them. When you pay for an apprentice on a job that you're doing, in reality is you're only paying about a third of their wages when you look at how much that's going to come out of your pay. Because a 32% commission, let's say that you have $36 in wages, because it's 2 hours at $18 for an example, right? You're going to end up paying $12. That's really what's going to affect your pay. If I took that out of your pay, your $36, it's going to affect your pay by $12. That's it. So you're really only paying, about $6 an hour for your apprentice. Now, that's only on jobs that you're getting paid on. So, Sarah made the comment yesterday, well, I make money on every job. Well, just about, she does. Okay, so that's great for Sarah. But what I want to show you is, here's a situation that happened that not only paid for him the entire time that Jason worked with Sarah, number one, but number two, she made money off of him. Okay? So on Sarah's job, there's a job right here. It's a $534 job, $524 job. And Jason did this job pretty much by himself, right? Sarah kind of left you out there. I think it had some to do with the toilets and handles and stuff like that, right?
Well, to be honest with you, I have to go back because the flapper is still making a noise.
Right,
So,
but did Sarah have to go out and do it?
Myself, yeah. Huh?
Did Sarah have to go back out and do it?
No, but I'm
Okay.
gonna have to go.
All right, so my point is, the job was sold for $524. So at this point, you'd only had 2 hours in there. So if you have to go back, you have to go back to fix something. But the bottom line was, her service volume was over $400 on that call. Okay? So she made like $136 or something like that in service volume when you do it 32%, okay, on that call. So if you have to go back, she's gonna make a little bit less. I mean, maybe she's gonna make another hour, another $11 off. Okay, so $120, fine. Then you look at all the hours that you worked with her and that she had to pay, that 32% was about $60 is what she had to pay for you that week, the days that you worked with her.
Yesterday, I completely lifted the water heater myself and installed everything without her going to the next job. So I could help.
Yeah, so that's my point is, it cost her $60 to use Jason for the time that she used him when she was making money on the jobs last week. She made, even after this, it was 130, so let's say 120 because she has to go back, $120. So she made $60 on him, and she had a helper that helped him clean, keep her truck clean, carry some of her equipment out, help heavy lifting, whatever it is. So I'm trying to show you guys that there's a value in having an apprentice with you, because yeah, there's times that it's going to cost you money and you're going, oh man, this is costing me money. But at the same time, they're there so that in the beginning there's a little bit of an investment because you got to teach them stuff. They don't know how to do certain things. As time goes on, they get better and better at it, and then you can leave them on a job and say, okay, you know what, you do this part over here, I'm going to do this over here. Then the other side of the coin is going to be like, guess what? I'm doing something that only one person can really do. He's going to carry my tools and clean up after me, but other than that, I can't have him in the shower with me while I'm putting the shower valve in. That stuff's going to happen too, but he's going to hopefully learn from how you're doing it by watching you, and you spending a little bit of time teaching him. So then the next time maybe you have 2 shower valves, and he can get the other one out and get it started for you. Then the third time, maybe he's gonna be able to do the whole thing by himself. But that's how eventually it's gonna be, to a point where you guys are splitting the job up and you're making the majority of the money on it, because it's not costing you a lot of money. You have to look at all the different things. So when he's helping you carry something, lift something, clean something, that's saving a half-hour time, an hour time of your time that you can get out of there faster and get to the next job and make money. So there's a lot of advantages of having an apprentice. And the pay plan is set up this way so that we as a company can grow by having apprentices, so that we can put them out in the field eventually and make a little money off of them as well, right? Because they cost us more money than they cost you as a tech. They cost us 2/3 of their pay, especially when you're just going out and getting an estimate and then eventually you get a job and so on. What we can't do as a company is we can't grow without apprentices. It's really difficult to do that. Because we want to teach people Kevin's way, the way that he has done things and has been through all the trial and errors and learned things. We want them to learn that way so that, number one, they fit in with our people, and number two, our customers, right? That's how we're going to grow. So if you don't have apprentices and you're not utilizing them, or let's say if you do have apprentices, and I say, okay, we have an apprentice, but I don't want that apprentice unless I need him, I'll call him. So then what do? We can't grow, because now this guy's not going to get any hours, because I can't have him just sitting around here doing, cleaning for 40 hours a week or whatever, and then next week, okay, well you need him for a couple hours, okay, well we'll send him out to you. It doesn't work that way. It takes time for them to learn by seeing and doing and being out there with you in the field. Some jobs, what's that?
Repetition.
Yeah, it takes repetition. You have to, they have to kind of get involved and know what's going on and see how you talk to the customer and how clean you keep things, and all of those things are important for them to learn and to be somebody successful in a relatively short period of time. I mean, I've seen apprentices in 6 months being able to get in their own van. I've seen them, a year. But it really depends on how much they're learning. If like a drain guy, you can get a drain guy in a truck in 3 to 6 months. Learning how to do the jetter and all the different scenarios and drains, and a lot of it's digging and cleaning, but you can get them in their own truck. When you're doing plumbing and you're doing a lot more plumbing things like shower valves and things that are a little more complicated, it takes a little more time. But if they're willing to learn and they're working hard for you, then you should be grateful that you have them, because there's going to be days, like you said, you lifted the water heater, you did all the stuff on here and here. Well, so she was able to do something else while you're doing that. So that means her productivity was much higher. Now, obviously Jason isn't going to be able to do something, or whoever, Steven's not going to be able to do something in the same amount of time as Sarah could have done it in, or Ryan or whoever, because you guys have more experience. But eventually it's going to get to that point where they're doing it as quickly as you are and doing a good job. So you guys have to take that into consideration. We can't grow as a company, and I'm not trying to put a burden on you as a tech by having an apprentice. You need to look at it in a positive way and take the positive side of it and say, hey, okay, well, one job for the week can pay for him for the entire week. One water heater, one other little job where I can drop him off and he can at least get all this stuff set up for me and started. And then when I come back to pick him up, I just got to spend a short time validating and verifying it's all done right, and I'm out of there. So sometimes it's getting parts for your next job while that person is doing something for you and getting as much done as they can that they know how. And then when you come in, you show them and spend a little time what else you can do. How else they can improve and get better and be more efficient and so on and so on. But make sure you always validate and check your apprentice's work. That's important, because you're the one who's responsible for that apprentice. It's your customer. Yeah. So we got to make sure that's happening.
Yep.
Okay. Any questions on that? So hopefully that kind of just 1 week just shows me that Jason has already gotten to a point where he's showing value, because he's not going to be perfect in every job. You got to also take that into consideration. He may have to go back, but the bottom line is
he's learning. He's
learning, and he's bringing money in for the technician. Okay.
Good.
Okay. wanna show something else.
One other thing, by the way. So let's say you get paid $10 an hour. That $10 is not $10 to me. It's more like $13 to me. Because I gotta pay payroll taxes and a bunch of other stuff. So really, as a percentage, you think you're paying 30% of the guy's wage, but you're not. It's significantly less.
Right.
So it's dirt cheap to have a guy help you on your truck. And it's up to you to make that efficient time and beneficial time. You don't need him on the job. He should be detailing the inside of your truck. Simple things like that, you know, keeping you organized. You know, that type of thing. That's just another little point to consider.
Okay. I wanted to show you guys on this job, I think, yeah, okay. So, this job was sold, and out of the office, there's a couple of things here that I wanted you guys to see in the tasks. First thing, Home Protection Club, when you guys have this in here, when you guys are doing your commission sheets, okay? So on the commission sheet, it showed $525.40 because you're looking at the total here. Okay, so if you sold the HPC, then you get a different commission, you get your $20 for it. I'm not gonna pay you 32% on $189. I'm not gonna pay you $60, you know, whatever, $62 on it. HPCs get a $20 spiff. It doesn't matter if you sell them in here, if they sell them in the office, that's it. So do not include that in your total for commission. I mean, I caught this, but I'm just trying to throw it all at you guys because it's not the first time it's happened where you guys are including the HPC. So they may sell it here in the office, and then you go out there to the job, and you're like, oh, I didn't sell this, but I sold this, this, and that. You sold these other things. And then also I saw that there was a $50 coupon, but there's 2 of them used. So we only use 1 coupon per customer per time. We don't double up on coupons and, oh, I have one for this and one for this. No, $50 per visit, per time, you know, per job. We can't afford to give $100 off of a, you know, really a $300 job because $189 was the HPC, right?
And I think all the gift certificates say that it's per task.
Per task.
Something like that, per visit.
I think it's per visit, yeah, per visit, per job, per visit. So just, you know, make sure you guys are out there doing the right thing. I can only take one this time, but save this other one for next time, type of thing. And then the $189, again, on your commission sheet, if you sold the HPC and it's in there for that purpose, then you just put on there on the right-hand side in the middle where it says sold HPC, sold 1 HPC. So then I get your $20 spiff, and then you get,
Then I make that transition because I did sell the HPC
Right.
as well, yeah. Okay.
So, but either way, if it's sold here and there, then I know if you sold it, then you put it on there.
Right.
And the HPC, and you get your $20.
Cool.
If you,
The HPC was just sold and that's why you're going out
right,
there, then.
then you don't collect on it and you don't include that in your total.
Right.
Right? So just make sure you guys are watching that because that kind of caught my eye and I'm just like, you know, what's going on here? That didn't add up. Okay? Any questions on that? And Brett, you need to really spend some time maybe with Ryan on commission sheets because
Yeah,
you didn't even do commission sheets.
I've
You
never
did
done
regular.
one commission sheet.
You only had 1 commission this last time,
Yeah.
really. And typically, and I mentioned this when you first started, but I'm going to throw it out at you again and for anybody else. You get paid commission or your hourly,
Yeah.
whichever is more. Now, in your situation, we put you back in training, so I paid you your commission, and then the rest, since it was training hours, you got the minimum anyway, so I added them together. But normally, your goal is to make more in commission by far than you would possibly make in hourly.
Yeah.
Okay, so you couldn't do that when you're in training, so I split it up for you, but normally, whatever's more. So if you're just going out and giving estimates and you're not getting your channel leader out there or a comfort advisor out there, you're not gonna make the money because you're not gonna sell anything, okay? Every job is a potential sale. We need to get the comfort advisors out there.
So I have a question about the comfort advisors
Yeah.
specifically. If I determine that their system's 25 years old and they probably need a new system, and I have a comfort advisor come out there and they sell them a whole new system, I make a commission off of that too.
you get the service volume off of it. So typically, if you're out there and you set it up, you call out Kevin, Kevin comes out and sells the system. You just sold a $15,000 system, all right? Now, you're basically going to get that job, because the job is yours, so, and then that service volume is gonna be yours. So you control the job, you're gonna be in charge of the job, and, or it can be flipped. If you're not able to do it because you're already so booked, if you flip it, then yes, then you get a percentage of that.
Oh,
Of the
okay,
job.
so, like, for example, like, you know, when, they installed my parents' water heater, like, Sarah flipped it to Jesse and still collected 10% on it. So
Right.
that, it's like in that kind of case.
Well, because basically it
Because
was,
Sarah made the sale. And
yeah, she made the
all
sale,
this
so
stuff,
she's
yeah.
kinda like the comfort advisor in that situation, right? Or that she would be that person. But if you were to go, and the difference is, you're not a
Oh.
comfort advisor, so if you were to go out and do
I'd be
it.
like Jesse in that situation.
Well,
the install person.
you'd be
Yeah.
installing it, and then you get your commission on that.
Okay.
Or, let's say that you went out, you set it up, Kevin came out and sold it, but you flipped it to somebody else.
You walk away.
Okay, so you walk away from it,
Yeah.
and now we're having Ryan do it.
Uh-huh.
So you're gonna get 2.5% off the top, right? Because the comfort advisor then would get a little bit less because he knows that you did that, and so, you know, he'd get 7.5, you get 2.5, and then the service fund goes to whoever, Ryan, in that case. Okay? So
That typically happens when you're, let's say you're HVAC guy,
Yeah,
and you
plumbing
flip it to the plumber, and the plumber sells something. That's typically when that's gonna happen, because you're not gonna do the service volume, because you don't know how to do the plumbing.
Yeah, I almost have something like that today, because I have to recheck. They have an upstairs toilet leaking, so I might just be calling him in and.
Yeah, it's better just to flip it, because
Yeah.
the likelihood, again, of you doing anything with it versus, you know, maybe Sarah or myself, you know, the difference in ticket, you probably, you know, just your percentage will probably be much higher, and you know, so what you might get, you know, 300 or 400 for, she might get 2,000,
Right.
and you know, you're getting a percentage of that, so it's really better to, at the end of the day, to walk away. But where the guys are making money that I see, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan, is when they flip to me, I sell the work and then they do it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and you guys make good money, right?
Oh yeah.
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 So that's where they're making the money. So
And another huge bonus behind basically us going out there and then flipping to Kevin is we know the job.
yeah,
We know the ins and outs of the system. So when it comes to when
You've
you're
already
going to
been
pick
there.
up exactly even when we're picking up parts, we sit there and be like, okay, well I got a picture of this, and I remember this has a weird little thing that goes on, and I need to make sure that I get that taken care
Build it in
of.
your
So you
mind.
pick that up with your parts, and it's like, oh.
yeah.
It simplifies things a heck of a lot because you already know how the job is going to work because you already ran it in your head. We do that every time we show up at a place.
Have to build a lot of things in our head.
Exactly.
Plus you have some type of relationship with the customer already. We're not saying another person, you know, another person. It's gonna be you doing it with your crew, whoever that is, and then, you know, Kevin coming out and doing his thing, so.
It's
That's
makes
where
life a
that's
lot
where the
easier.
money really is. That's the majority of the time, that's where you make a lot of money.
You know, one thing, for instance, when Brett flipped his parents, wouldn't he necessarily get 2.5%, 2.5% off of that?
Well, he did a lead on it, so
Okay.
it's kind of a lead on a customer. It's not a sale. If it was already sold, and for being his parents, it probably kind of was, because I think they were going to go with this either way.
Right.
Yeah.
That's something that I'll talk to Kevin about it. I think that's
Yeah, there should
kind of
be
a fair
there
thing.
should be
Yeah, I'd
something.
wonder,
for
is
that.
there?
Yeah, if
I
it's
mean,
something that's sold,
if
normally.
the customer's getting like a discount, I kind of understand.
Yeah, then
it.
we wouldn't do it,
But if they're not getting a discount, I imagine friends and family, if I flip a plumbing job to somebody or even something overtly
Yeah.
HVAC that I'm not familiar
There should
with
be
with a
an-
huge company, like,
There should be some sort of incentive
I would think so.
for
I don't know.
lead development or lead generation.
I have a lot
Especially
of
if you know
things
it's,
they could do.
if it's already sold, they just need to find out what's sold.
No, I have no problem with paying for leads.
Yeah, cause I did that with my parents.
Because I'm gonna be
earlier.
paying paying somebody for leads.
Sarah
people
came
hit
out
me
and
up all
fixed
the time.
something in a wall at my parents' house last week, and they'd been worried about it for the last almost year. because it's been leaking into the outside.
Mhm.
And she went over there, and my mom's like, yeah, she was here for like maybe an hour. She figured all of it out and had it all done. She had the darn wall opened, and she gave us an invoice, and we can send it into the home warranty because they said it wasn't in the house, and yada yada yada. She was all excited about it. I was like, hey, that works.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I was, and then he pointed that out. I'm like, that's an interesting question. I'd have no idea if that's something
Yeah.
you can pay them.
Yeah, and normally if something is basically sold, I mean, this is a different situation because this is parents,
Yeah.
but if something is sold,
Uh-huh.
then it's an automatic 2.5%. So that's the only thing that was a little bit different because it had to go out and be sold, and you know the time had to get done by Sarah, right? Sarah went out there.
Yeah, I think Sarah actually went out to both of them.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it already have to be sold?
Well, I mean, a lead.
If I go out to HVAC and talk to somebody about
No,
plumbing, I didn't
it's
sell
not. No,
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of times it happens. Someone
Okay.
says, "Hey, I got this
it.
flip,"
Yes.
and
yes.
it ends up being, "Oh, they're just getting estimates, and we're not going to get in it." So it has to be a sold job, which it is at this point, but it's a lead, so that's fine. We'll do something for them.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else have anything else? Any questions, comments, concerns? All right.
I got one thing I
Yeah.
wanted to go over with today. So, real quickly, Stephen and I were on a job yesterday, and it was a water heater flush and estimate for system. And just wanted to kind of point out a few things. The guy had, so the guy who answers the door is Flood Air. He's their salesperson. He's like, oh, hey. I'm like, hey. He goes, I don't know, the guy's around here somewhere. I was like, okay, cool. Then there's another company there, the warranty company, his condensate drain backed up. Okay, so obviously he wasn't getting maintenance, I kind of brought that up. Talked to him about safety switches because I promote, I provided an estimate for a new system. And I said, really all this could have been avoided, yada, yada, yada. I broke it down for him. A couple things I wanted to point out real quickly. Number one, it was kind of cringeworthy. I went upstairs and there's these two guys in front of the furnace and they're blowing out the condensate line, and I can hear it coming out the sink, downstairs.
Uh-oh.
And yeah, and no, they were fortunate that it didn't shoot out.
Yeah.
But they never really, they were just blowing on that. And really didn't know because I've seen it and it's like Mount Vesuvius that
Yeah.
shoots out of the sink, hits
Oh,
the
yeah.
ceiling, wallpaper, done.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's wallpaper, done.
Black
Yeah, right?
power.
It's not, that's
Wow.
class 2 shit,
Yeah.
coming into your, right, or class 3, right? So anyway, long story short, not only that, but the nitrogen tank is sitting on the guy's carpet. No protection whatsoever. And I was like, oh my God, I just like, for me it was like a cringe-worthy moment. So I just kind of wanted to point out a few things. Condensation is so important. You go down there and you take that thing apart, because here's why. That tail piece, you got that rubber tube coming in that tail piece on the pop-up assembly. It could be blocking that line. So you might blow air through that line, but the debris is still in there. It's not going anywhere. You have to physically take that rubber piece apart and clean it, okay? Show the customer the dirt in there and the value for what you're doing.
There's
They
always
never
dirt in
did
there.
that. They were the warranty company because he had policy on his house, right? And those guys always suck, no matter
Right.
what.
Right.
But this is an example of how they sucked. They weren't wearing uniforms either. They looked like just junky guys off the street, So a very, very important thing. We got shoe covers, we got mats. We actually have pads out here. Bryce found them. I have ordered boxes of them, and they're about 18 by 18 inches, and they're for putting on the counter and laying your tools on them. Okay? So they're there. We got stacks of
I'm
them.
taking
You
one.
could take some. Okay? So that's just one other thing I wanted to point out, but separating yourself from everybody else. So obviously this guy's getting bids, right? So really important, I went into the attic and he had 2 attic accesses and went into the attic and looked at his ductwork, right? Opened up, I said, dang, it's nice and cold upstairs in the attic, And he was like, well first he asked me, he goes, why are you going in the attic? And I was like, well I gotta look at your ductwork, that's part of the system. And he's like, oh, so what did that tell me? The other guys did not.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, they're too freaking lazy to go into the attic, right? The guy needs all new ductwork, you know. But he was kind of shocked by that. But and at the end of the day, because I did the plumbing inspection, I did everything. I broke everything down in detail for the guy, really educated him on what he was doing. And then he's got solar too. So we had a long conversation about efficiency, and he's still paying $200 and some a month in electricity with solar. And I'm like, dude, this doesn't add up, right? So I need to have another conversation with him again about some of this stuff. But the point is, he said to me, he said, thank you for being so thorough. I really appreciate all of the information you gave me. I'd much rather do business with you. I'm letting you know that I obviously, I'm getting other bids. But I really like you, and I like your company, and I like the way you guys presented yourself and how thorough you were in my home. And we spent a lot of time there. I got out there 11:30 or something like that. I was there all a long time. That was my first call,
Okay.
right? And I got 0, okay? But the point is, when you do that each and every time and you separate yourself from everybody else, it starts with the uniform, okay? Presentation, the map, everything like that. Speaking of which is really what I wanted to announce today, is that I'm going to be walking up on jobs, okay? I'm going to be surprise visiting people on their job sites. And I'm letting everybody know in this room and not in this room that I'm going to be doing that. If I find you out of uniform, okay, you're going to get sent home without pay for the rest of the day and the next day, all right? I will enforce the uniform policy. I will not have you guys running calls without uniforms on. Because I saw it yesterday in my company, don't like it. I'm paying a shit ton of money for those uniforms, and you better be wearing them. Okay, so at all times we should be representing our company. We should be representing a level of professionalism. And again, we have to separate ourselves from everybody else because we absolutely do charge more. And I'm not shy about that. But people are willing to pay more each and every time. Go to Starbucks, you know, line out the door every morning, consistently, you know, and they know they're paying more. It's not a mystery to them. They're not surprised, you know. Paying $5 for a cup of coffee, it's crazy. Right? You know, it's like, what? Yeah. So anyway, that's all I had to say, but I did want to mention that I will be rolling up on jobs and inspecting your work and inspecting your uniforms especially. And I don't want it to be a surprise to anybody.
Regarding uniforms, I spend a lot of time in attics.
Mm-hmm.
I'll often basically take my shirt off, either just outside the attic, or if I've been there for a few hours, I'll even leave it downstairs in the garage if we're spending a lot of time there as well. Is that an issue?
No, it's not. In
Okay.
fact, we need to get some more
T-shirt.
Kalka
Yeah.
t-shirts.
Yeah.
T-shirts would be nice.
Yeah,
I love those things, but if I'm going to be spending 90% of my day in an attic covered in insulation, I don't want to
Yeah.
have this on. I'd rather have this on.
You know what?
I'd rather put this on
Yeah,
afterwards.
because the shirt really becomes untuckable because it keeps coming out and it
Right.
really becomes an issue. You can catch on it and all these other things, and it's best to have either short or long sleeve. I prefer the long sleeves, especially when you're in the attic, but you know. And that's probably what I'm going to order is all long sleeves, but you can always roll them up if you like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And guys, like I said, when it comes to that, as part of uniforms is the hygiene part. I know you're sweating your butts off in the attics. I mean, I've been up in my attic somewhat recently, and I sweat just for being up there for a few minutes. So I know when you're up there for a long time doing that stuff, it's hot. But, you know, bring an extra t-shirt if you have to, whatever, so you're not wearing, you know, once that sweat dries on you, it's BO. And, you know, you bring your extra deodorant with you. Make sure you have mouthwash or gum or something like that. When you drink coffee and stuff like that, you guys don't realize how bad your breath can get. And when you're talking to a customer, I'm telling you, I've dealt with this, where people come and talk to me, and their breath is just so bad that I can barely even, I'm holding my breath while they're talking to me. And then we're like, you know, 6-7 feet away. So I don't want us to be that kind of guy. I want us, like Kevin said, separate ourselves from everybody else. You go in, you look good, you smell good. You know, if you got to change your shirts, make sure you have an extra shirt with you, all that good stuff. Okay?
Okay. That's it. Thanks,
Good work.
guys.
Okey dokey.